So anyways, I've got the 2x6s, these full length ones all the way up there, coming down here. And I'm like, okay, that's all the 10 footers I need. But then I thought, wait a minute. And I measured across here because I've got a 2x6 going along the side all the way around this. And then the floor joists are going to go across this way, every 16 inches on center. And I measured that, and it's a little over 5 feet. What was it? Or 5, little less than 5 feet, I think, all the way. It was 5 foot 2.5 inches, but I'm going to have a 2x6 over here, which is 1.5 inches thick, a 2x6 over here, which is 1.5 inches thick. There's 3 inches, and it was 5 foot 2, whatever. So a 10-footer is barely going to reach. A 5-footer is barely going to reach. So I counted up how many I needed, every 16 inches, and divided that. You know, if I need 6 5-footers, that's 3 10-footers at the store. So I added more things on that, and I had 9 10-footers before, 9 10-footers, and I changed that to 14 10-footers after the measuring this and figuring all that out. So that's how I came up with my measurements for my 2x6s, and I'll have them cut some at the store, and I'll be able to put some on the rack. I didn't want to put them all up there on the rack. Then I have to manhandle the 12-footers too, and I've already got 14 10-footers up there, and this, I haven't had the truck out with the rack. It's not even a right type of rack. It's for surfboards and stuff like that. But anyways, it'll be fine, and I'll just have them cut the 12-footers because I'm going to have them cut the 2x. I needed a 2x8, an 8-footer and a 4-footer, so I'm going to get that out of a 12-footer, so I don't have to get 2 8-footers, let's say. And then also on my 4x12, I've actually measured exactly what I needed from left to right, because the 4x12 comes in here and it fits inside the wall. It's not tight on the inside of the wall, but it's not short of the wall either. They have it stuck in to the backside through the stucco. Okay, so when you see the step, when you see these steps, the 4x12 goes in past the stucco by about 4 inches or so. Okay, now that doesn't have to be exact, and it doesn't have to be exactly there. It could be there, it could be here, it could be closer over to there. And so before I build this wall, I thought, hey, I think I can get those in one piece. After I kind of start building this, I can see the next 4x12. I can get that up there right now. I'm going to clean up. I'll clean up around where the stucco is, up in there, and first clean up. There's some glue edge up here in the top of that. But see, I could slip that 4x12 in there. Well, once I cut this, see, this is all nasty. But I might even leave this up until I get the first 4x12 up, because I'm going to attach it right there with some screws and right up there with some screws, and then it's going to run over and it's going to set on top of this 2x6. And after I put this plywood on over here, then once I get it on top of there, I can get a little clip, you know, a joist hanger half clip, something like this, put it on there. I'll show you all that later, but I've just had to go through this, the thought process of how I'm going to do things, so what stuff I'm going to need at the store. Okay, because then once I get that 4x12 up, then I can put another 2x6 underneath it and hold up this side here to keep it from tilting. Then I can cut this off, and I'm going to have to work myself up backwards, you know, put the 2x6 up there, measure it, figure out exactly where it's going to go for this next one, because remember, it's all cut off. This was all bad, this was all rotten. Up here, this one's gonzo. So see, there's nothing to hold this one, but you know, one step at a time. I'll get it. It'll look real good at the end. But so anyways, I thought I better make the material list, get to the store before I even clean this all this stuff up. I mean, I could clean this up right now, but the next couple of days, the weekend's going to be here and more people at the store, so I thought I would go to make my list and go today while it's not as crowded today. Then on the weekend, then I can come back here and keep working over the weekend. I don't have to run to the store. It'd take me 2.5 hours or longer at the store on the weekend as opposed to less on the weekdays, depending when you go and during the work days, or you could go at night, but I'm not going to get all this stuff on the weekend. Forget that. Okay? So anyways, there's a few tips for you as you're making your list. Check things out, go through the process, figure out what you think you're going to need to do. And, you know, if I have to go to the store again another time, I'll go to the store another time. But, you know, I want to try to get as much stuff as I can so I can keep on working. Now here's something I wanted to tell you about. That riser, that's called a stair riser, going all the way across. That's redwood. But then the 4x12 going across, that's just regular Douglas fir. And you can't get a 4x12 redwood. And I don't know why they could have just built all of those riser pieces out of 2x6 Douglas fir, because this whole stairway is painted. I'm going to seal this. I'm going to prime it. I'm going to paint it. I'm going to caulk all the way around it. I'm going to make this way better than it is now. So the new pieces that I've got a couple more riser pieces that I have to go all the way across. I thought, should I use the 2x6 redwood, or should I just go ahead and use 2x6 Douglas fir? So I'm going to use the 2x6 Douglas fir. And even their rail, when they went across, that one that I cut off right there, that went across, and that held up these stair stringers. They ran a 2x6 redwood there. That's a no-no. You're not supposed to do that. You don't have any holding power with redwood. It's mainly, you use it for exterior purposes. Now if this was open underneath and 2x6s, two 2x6s to make 12 inches wide stair tread, let's say, they might have ran 2x6s redwood, and then also the riser redwood if they weren't sealed, if you could walk underneath the deck, if there was no moisture that you're trying to prevent from coming through, like the stucco. If this was all open underneath, like some are, this could have been all redwood, let's say. Okay, then they wouldn't have painted it at all, and because it's exterior. But because it's been painted, I'm going to use Douglas fir. And speaking of Douglas fir, I did most of my framing and stuff in California. They had Douglas fir. It was called standard or better. Number 2 Douglas fir, standard or better. And that's what most of your framing members are. But if you have questions about it in your state, ask your salesperson, because there's some wood that they're going to use for support purposes and some for trim, like alder. I've seen spruce where they put on rough sawn spruce for trim. You wouldn't use that to frame in California anyways. You'd use Douglas fir. Okay, so when I go to the store, all the stuff, when I say Douglas fir, that's what the standard building structural wood is. Standard number 2 or better. And that's what I'm going to get at the store. Now you might be asking, hey Joe, why can't you just get all of the wood that you want and cut it here? Well, I probably could, but then I'd have to cut it out there because this pit's kind of small. For me to maneuver around, I could pull the long 2x6s in from that side. the 4x12s, I would have to cut. I could cut myself. I have to cut it on both sides. Since I'm going to be at the store, it's going to be easier for them to just cut it to length that I want, and then I can put that in the back of the truck. A lot easier than like a 10-foot piece or 12-foot piece. Instead, I've got them to cut both pieces for me, and then I can manhandle those in the back of a truck if you don't have a rack, or if you got a van only, you can shove all your stuff inside a van, working van, or the back of your truck if it's a short bed or something. And also it's cumbersome. You're not used to carrying long 2x6s 12 foot long and having to carry them into your backyard. Maybe, you know, you cut them in half and it's a little easier for you to work with. So I made the determination what I need to do at the store, and now it's time to pick that wood up.